Hello, everybody. Welcome to Steve's Tabletop Baseball channel. Back again with another Tabletop Baseball video, of course. And this time we're going to do something a little different. And I have a guest with me, and here we go. So, as you can see on the screen, I have Domenic Carota. He is the creator of two games. One is called Hotcorner Baseball, and the other is called Heresthepitch Baseball. And so I have him on the phone with me, and you'll be able to hear him as we work our way through this interview. So in the description to this video, I am going to have some links, which you can see on the screen here, including info on how to contact Domenic. And on that whole point, I already had done a video on Hotcorner, and so there's a link to that. And so we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on every little detail of Hotcorner during this interview. So welcome, Domenic.
Thank you, Steve, for having me. How you doing?
Doing great, doing great. Appreciate you doing this, and appreciate you being my guinea pig on this interview venture.
No problem. If it can help out the hobby of table game baseball, I'm here.
Excellent, excellent. So we were talking before we got started a little bit about your background, both personally and as it relates to the hobby. So give me a little bit of that info.
Well, I grew up in a small town south of Boston, about 8 miles, called Milton, Massachusetts. And I grew up there and played baseball most of my whole life, and through high school, and played in what was called then the Bay State League. And I was lucky enough and blessed enough to be able to play against some really good players, Joe Coleman of Natick and Richie Hebner. So I was blessed to play against some good players who made it to the majors.
And you were telling me you had a few favorite players as well.
Yeah, of course I followed the Red Sox as a Boston native, but I loved Juan Marichal, Don Drysdale, and Bob Gibson. Those were my favorite three pitchers. And I can remember 10 years old trying to do the high kick of Juan Marichal. But those are my three favorite players growing up.
Excellent, excellent. So what about your earliest experiences with tabletop baseball games?
I was probably about 8 years old. The first game I played was, you probably remember it, was All-Star Baseball by Cadico. Right. It was a disc with a rectangle in the middle of the player, and you put it on a spinner, and you'd spin the spinner, and you'd get a result. But that was the first game I believe I ever played. Plus, I was always making games as a kid with cards.
Yeah. Cool.
With cards and that type of thing. So that was the first one I remember.
Then, do you have a favorite game? Because I know you played other games after that.
Well, I went from Cadico to apba,
right,
like most people did, and then got into stratomatic, and I just played them, most of them. But as life grows, you kind of move on. You grow older in your work, and you don't have time for a lot of things. But those were, Pursue the Pennant was another one, and Replay Baseball. And I always commended those guys. They did so much to create the games, and they should be given credit for this hobby. That's the way I feel about it.
Yeah, I agree. So in previous note, you told me that math was not your original first love. Tell me about math and statistics.
Well, it's amazing because in the 7th grade, I flunked math. Yeah, I had no clue. But in the 8th grade, I'll never forget, I got a teacher named Miss Tucker, and everything seemed to just fall in place. And ever since then, I was pretty good at math, and of course, loving baseball and loving statistics. It sort of was a great match, and I was good at math from then on.
Excellent. Well, it shows. So I'm going to talk for a second about hot corner, and you'll know all this, but just to set a baseline for the listeners. So hot corner had pitcher cards and batter cards and team cards.
Right.
And the game flow, I've got a flow chart on the screen here, Dominic. The game flow is first you checked for a strikeout or a walk. And if it wasn't, then you had to check for a hit. And then if it was a hit, there was a power chart which told you the type of hit.
Right.
And then there was also some potential fielding if the potential out came up. And so you had 3 dice, 1 red, 2 white.
Right.
Yeah. And
what I did was with those rolls, and some people like it, some people don't. What I tried to do was create excitement with each roll.
Right.
Rather than roll and get a result and score the play, I wanted to see if I could create some excitement. So, for instance, the batter didn't strike out or work. Let's see what else he can do, type of thing. So that was a real creation that I tried to do with.
Yeah, that's an interesting game philosophy I'm learning. There was a game that I studied recently called The World's Greatest Baseball Game, and the designer there intentionally did what you were just talking about, that they intentionally had a dice roll for almost every little aspect of what goes on in a baseball play. And some people like that, and some people prefer to get to the answer right away. So, but that's very interesting. But Dominic, I have the pitcher and hitter cards up on the screen. In fact, I'm going to put up Brooks Robinson's card, and there's all kinds of ratings here and the statistics. And I will compliment you. I have a copy of Hot Corner. Those cards were very well produced. I only know, I think, of one other game today that has cards that are as nice as those cards. Now I'm going to put up Gary Nolan, the pitcher card. And what I wanted you to talk about a little bit is the pitcher ratings. And so as I understand it, you had what was called a toughness rating, which helped determine if there was going to be a hit or not, a support rating, and then a shutout rating. Actually, there's four ratings here: toughness rating, support rating, adjustment rating, and shutout rating. And tell me about this. Is very interesting. Tell me your philosophy in designing these pitcher ratings.
Well, coming from a pitching background, it was important to me to devise a lot of pitching outcomes, I guess, if you want to give it a word. The toughness rating is, and a lot of those ratings also go into here's the pitch, but the toughness rating was hits innings pitched. And a lot of pitches, they may walk a lot of batters, but you just don't hit them. So the toughness rating was, you'd take a guy like you say you have Brooks Robinson in front of you, whatever his rating may be, it would be lower against a fellow like Nolan Ryan.
Right.
The adjustment rating was based on home runs per hits.
Yep.
And you might have pitches that are tough to hit, but allow a lot of home runs.
Exactly.
So when you do hit it, it's gone. So the adjustment rating was an adjustment to, for instance, a player's or a batter's rating.
Yep.
At that point. And so what I tried to do was on the shutout rating, as we spoke of earlier. Some players would pitch a game, and they had very few shutouts, so they would get tired after a certain amount of innings, or things would change, so that if they had a shutout after a certain amount of innings, they would get worse.
Yep.
So they would not get that shutout, and they'd lose it. So as a coach or manager, you would have to say, I got to get this guy out of here. So that was the adjustment rating, and it was adjusted by the number of shutouts a player had, a pitcher had. And the inning, I think you had an inning factor, which was how many innings a pitcher usually would pitch before he gets tired.
Right. Good. Excellent. Well, that's a very clever design, and particularly that home run adjustment rating. I'm a big believer in that in baseball sims. I'm going to take a quick detour. You put out the game Hot Corner under the name Pro Sports Action Inc. Did you ever produce any other sports games at that time under that?
I had them on my table to produce.
Right.
The goal was to produce tabletop games for all the 4 major sports.
Right.
But unfortunately, it didn't work out that way. And we, as I had told you before, we had a major problem with the computer, and it crashed. And it was a sad day for me, I'll tell you. But we kind of lost everything. And so it just kind of went by the wayside after a while. And of course, with married and kids, I just moved on and until my retirement days, and then I said I need a hobby. So my original goal was to retire and hit the golf course, but that didn't work out from health problems. So I said I got to find another hobby, which I said, what do I love to do? I said we'll make another baseball game, see what I can do, make it all new, and go from there. Let's see if anybody's interested. If there's something I can do to make the people, fans love the tabletop hobby of baseball, then I've pretty much done what I wanted to do. That was just my goal. I just wanted to enhance and be able to get people to get into this hobby some more. Because I think it's a dying hobby, and whatever I can do to make it better.
Excellent. Well, I think you've accomplished that. I'm going to scroll ahead on my slides here a little bit, and maybe we'll talk about Here's the Pitch in a little bit more detail. So before I have a pitcher card and a batter card up on the screen, but before we dive into that, you mentioned using a computer way back when with Hot Corner. What do you do now? Are these computer generated cards? Or what's your data sources, etc.?
Well, I use computer references, baseball reference for stats and stuff like that.
Yep.
It's come a long way. I used to take them out of the book from Baseball Encyclopedia, but we've come a long way since then. So what I do is do it all by hand. Wow. And I take the stats, and I've got my formulas and things that I do, and so I make the cards. And there's really no computer anymore to be able to do that, so I have to do it on my own.
Wow, that's a labor of love for sure.
Okay.
So if I understand correctly, again, you're using the 3 6-sided dice, and the red one is what determines whether the pitcher or batter card will be used, and then you have two other ones that you read as a 2-digit number from 11 to 66. And so that gives you a pretty good selection of results to deal with. And you also have, do you have left and right? Yeah, you have left and right results, left-right splits?
I have lefty and righty results for where mostly the ball would be hit to. For instance, I was unable to achieve the stats for individual player, what he did against lefties or righties, but I was able to at least be able to, if he's a right-hand batter, hit more balls to left and short and third than if he's a right-handed batter, he would hit more balls to first, second, and right.
Got it.
That type of thing. So it does make a little bit of difference because you want to know your fielders. And if you have a weak fielder at short or third, and you might want a right-handed batter up there.
Yeah.
So that he'll hit it to them, type of thing, rather than a left-handed batter who'll probably hit it to first, and you might have a great fielder. So it could make a difference.
So that makes sense. So if I'm remembering correct, you distribute Here's the Pitch on PDF files, right?
Yeah, at that point, I just wanted, my original intent was to just put it out there, create an interest. Hopefully I can build a hobby. I wasn't in the production end of it, wasn't going to do that. So I says, well, if I can make a PDF file and people are interested, I can send it off, and that's not a big deal, and I can spend most of my time making new teams and that type of thing. So if you've seen the catalog, if I had to go to print for all of that stuff, it would be impossible. So I just send everything for a PDF file, and it's also less expensive.
Yeah, definitely. And you do you type these up in some sort of spreadsheet or something to create the PDF?
I use a program called Microsoft Publisher.
Oh, excellent. Okay.
And I've made all the forms, the batting forms and pitching forms and all that type of stuff. And of course, when I make a player, I pull up the batting, and there's 4 batters per sheet. So, I enter the batters and the stats and put in all the ratings for everybody, and then move on. And from there, when a team is done, I save it as a PDF file. And if someone purchases it, I go and send them the file.
Excellent. So our mutual friend Kurt Bergland has been quite a promoter of your game, and he has lots of YouTube videos about your game. I think I'll provide a link to that. So I won't have you spend too much time explaining the game today in this interview, but what features carried over from Hot Corner into Here's the Pitch?
A lot of the pitching, the fielding I changed. It used to be ABC, now it's 1, 2, 3, that type of thing. A lot of it has come about, but I've had to change some of the formulas because there are a few things that I changed that I got from Hot Corner that I thought might be better. And but a lot of the pitching and some of the hitting, the strikeouts and walks in Hot Corner baseball used to be a separate role.
Yeah.
And I was able to work it out where a batter or a pitcher now, instead of 36 opportunities, he has 108.
Yep.
And that was a real plus for me. So I was able to work the strikeouts and walks into the card by adjusting the formula for that player, especially like Nellie Fox.
Exactly.
Nellie Fox would hardly ever strike out, or Joe Sewell, depending on who you looked at. They never struck out very much, so you had to make an exception for that. So what I did is I made Nellie Fox's card where he can't strike out against the opposing pitcher. He can only strike out off his card, that type of thing. So that's a lot of that is different.
Yeah, you had a little bit of that in Hot Corner, and I have up on the screen right now the walk and strikeout adjustments. And, that in any kind of 50-50 game, for it to be more accurate, you have to do that. So that was very insightful for you to do that both in Hot Corner and to continue that in Here's the Pitch. So that's really good. Yeah, I have a few other charts from Here's the Pitch up on the screen. But like I said, Kurt's videos really explain the game. It's very, very colorful presentation. I like that, and so on. And like I said, like you said, is having the 3 dice, and the way they're read now is a lot, I think, a lot better in terms of getting precise results. So
I give Kurt Bergland a lot of credit. He took a chance on the game. He liked the game, and forever grateful for what he's done, and people like yourself. So I go from there.
Excellent.
He's done a great job. He's done a lot of videos, and I don't know if I would probably be as successful with him or without him. So I give him a lot of credit.
Well, I think the feeling is mutual here, both in terms of what Kurt does, but also people like you who contribute to the community. So, Domenic, I'm going to give you a chance to make any final wrap-up comments, but I have up on the screen how people can reach you, and you'll correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the email address is djcgolfer@sbcglobal.net.
Right.
Excellent.
DJC Golfer.
Yep.
At sbcglobal.net.
Excellent. So any final thoughts before we wrap up the interview?
That's about it. I wish to thank you for giving me this opportunity. Hopefully the fans will watch this and get interested into tabletop sports baseball and the hobby. And like I said, this isn't something that is money orientated. It never has been, never will be. And I just want, if I can be able to spread some light on this game and the sport of baseball, and maybe more people start playing it, then I've done what I wanted to do. And I commend all the other gamers, creators who have made stuff too, because without them, I'm not sure this tabletop sports baseball would have survived.
Yeah, I agree with you. There's a lot of innovators in the game. So I appreciate all you do. Appreciate you being my guinea pig for my first interview video. And we'll wrap that up. Thank you.